Hey there, Mr. Dave. You wanted me to record this again for you, so I did. I figure I'd record it like I set it up when I play it out. I've played it out a couple times now, and people get a big kick out of it because it's a neat story. So when I was 7 years old, my family moved from Pittsburgh to Hilliard, Ohio, and back then Hilliard was basically a traffic signal and a couple stop signs and a Dairy Queen. And back then it was a bit of an adjustment for me as a kid, and first day of school I got in trouble. Some kid pushed me down, and on the playground I came up swinging. I just figured that's what you're supposed to do, and I got to meet the principal and all that sort of thing. Anyhow, so we had a teacher in second grade. Her name was Mrs. Shively, and Mrs. Shively was let's say a pretty tough bird, and she divided the class up into three groups: Group A and Group B and Group C. Now, I wasn't the smartest kid in the bunch, but could pretty much figure out what Group A, B, and C meant. Like Group A were the really good, smart kids, and B were the kids that were okay and behaved, and then Group C was future derelicts. And so I think I was in Group C at the time, and so I was doing something, and she had Group C kind of seat to the back of the classroom, where we wouldn't disrupt the learners. So one day I must have been doing something that just got her goat pretty well, and she came back and she grabs me by the collar. She marches me up to the front of the room and says, "Stand right there." And then she goes and gets my desk, and she grabs it, and then she drags it up to the front of the room, puts it right in front of her desk, sits my butt down in the desk, and sits down in her desk and looks at me, and she goes, "This is Group Z." And I thought, whoa. And, then I didn't know what to think. And then I thought, well, can't be that bad, because, I know they don't give Z's on report cards, so, I guess. So anyhow, so there I was in Group Z, and I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks later, another miscreant was added to Group Z, and that began really a lifelong friendship that exists to this day. So we went to grade school and high school together, and kind of split apart and got back together, and we get together every so often and play guitars. It's really a nice story of a lifelong friendship. So anyhow, so that's what this is all about. So here we go. Second grade and new to town, I didn't quite fit in. Restless and rambunctious, full of original sin. School, the teacher moved our desks into Groups A, B, and C. Wasn't long till I found myself sitting in Group Z. Now Group Z was a special place, a place that she had chose. For a kid that caused her trouble, I sat right under her nose. My desk was right in front of hers, away from the rest of class. I think she'd like to have me there just to chew my ass. Second grade and new to town with no one to be my friend. When you're a kid and only 7 and you really don't fit in. I was lucky when another boy had troubles about the same. We met in 1965, the boys of Luther Lane. I didn't have no one to talk to. The kids, they turned and ran from the Group Z boy new to town. They were sure was bad. Just when I thought my world would end, and I felt so damn disgraced. Another boy, he joined Group Z, and behind me he was placed. He lived a ways up the street from me, up on Luther Lane. The street named for a radical priest who was trouble in his day. Through Catholic schools and high schools, we were both classmates. They didn't want to see the likes of us, so they let us graduate. When you're 18 and out of school and you really don't fit in, there's no one to tell you what to do or how to play to win. Takes a bit of wondering to figure out the game. We went our ways in '76, the boys of Luther Lane. Well, we lost track of each other, got jobs and found some wives, went to college, got degrees, and we moved on with our lives. I heard how he was doing from his mom and dad at church. After 30 years or so, our paths they did converge. Now we're showing all our 60 years, hang out and play guitars. My Group Z pal is a PhD, writes stories about dogs. I just try to remember all the things I learned from him. I hope we have 30 years before we pack it in. Well, the Group Z boys, we did okay and better than they thought. We did lots of stupid things, but we never did get caught. Times were hard, but we got this far and we're not ones to complain. Life has turned out pretty good for the boys on Luther Lane. Yeah, we're kind of a mess, both are blessed to come from Luther